Hey, fartwads, and welcome to this episode of Kennedy Saves the World. It's a Monday. It's a fun day. We're looking back at a very big weekend with Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy's here, fartwads.
Jimmy!
Is that what you said? I love
Yeah,
it.
I did. Isn't that rude? That was a bit rude. That's
I don't really
coarse
like it.
and untoward.
If people are listening to this show, if they're watching this pod,
Then I think we'd all be amazed.
yeah, stop it. They want the tough love. Don't take yourselves so seriously.
Don't do it.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, Jim.
How about it?
So it was the weekend of holiday parties.
Woo!
Yeah.
Was it? But enough about Lincoln Fela. No, we had a good time. The Fela.
did.
Do you want to know how much holiday partying we did? Starts Friday in your house.
That's right.
Scott, do you know I had no voice Saturday? And it's not because we were like leaping off the balcony doing champagne shots upside down.
You weren't even there for the cigar hour.
I wasn't. But it was loud. We were just loud. There was a lot of us. There were a lot of like genuine, joyful conversations. Like it was wild because everyone talked to so many different people. It was so peppy. But I did not have a voice on Saturday. It was bizarre.
Did you have a show this weekend?
No, thankfully.
Oh, thank God.
Just a little TV thing, but who
Yeah.
cares? You can muscle through it. But I'm saying
Were you live Saturday
in
night?
conversation, yes, but in conversation,
Dang,
it was just
fool.
like, you know what I mean? But you could always project with the game on the line. But the point is, it was great. It was such good revelry.
Yeah.
And what was so amazing about it, it was like, we're out there at your place. Everybody's in the best mood. The doors are open. The balcony has a perfect view into New York Harbor, where aliens may or may not be preparing to kill
I
us
think they
all.
are. Yeah, I think they're preparing.
I mean, I'm rooting for them.
You can hear them going,
Yeah.
sharpening their little alien knives.
I read enough
Or is that the
takes.
probe?
Thank you.
They're charging the probes.
Well, listen,
Here,
that probe
here,
saves me
here.
a lot of money on Craigslist, so I'm not going to say a word. I normally have to pay a guy to dress up as a Martian,
Never refuse a probe.
come over the house when Jenny and the kid are away. This is actually a little more convenient.
Take me to your prostate.
But it was epic. It was so great.
Yeah.
A little time with the family. But I'm in
That's
good
absolutely right.
spirits. You find me in good spirits.
Then we went to Guy Benson's party the next night.
How was that? Was it a good time?
Classy.
It was, right?
So classy,
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, we both had bartenders.
Fancy.
His was sober.
Oh, yours was outrageous.
She was great.
She was fantastic. She was, the kind of bartender that like you're trying to cut yourself off. You're like, no, I'm good. I got to drive. Drive, schmive, GPS it. I'm like, who are you? What are you talking
You
about?
baby, drink this. It's green.
It's so great when you get to the party and the bartender has the hiccups. You're like, oh, I'm being overserved. Wow.
She brought herself an elf hat that didn't fit, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we've got one." She's like, "Really? Can I wear it?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I'm now forcing you to wear it. Put
I
it
love
on
this chick.
right now."
This is great.
No, it was amazing, and it was part of a celebratory weekend because I think that's the mood people are in. I asked Charles Payne a couple of weeks ago on Black Friday if people were going to spend more this holiday season. They absolutely are.
And just to be clear, that wasn't the day after Thanksgiving. She calls it Black Friday because she booked Charles Payne on
Yeah,
a
whenever
Friday.
he's on,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like that you did that.
Yeah,
That's
it's called Black Don't Crack Friday. So
as you know, I'm very C-Pain. We had a similar conversation in my taxi on Black Saturday when I was driving him in my taxi. And we were talking about there is this collective thing that's going on right now where we are optimistic in a way that we haven't been for a long time in this country. And I think it's because there's a bit of a civic pride coming back. The national anthem now is not getting protested.
I felt that at the Army-Navy game.
Yeah.
And it was the best feeling.
To just know that people...
The collective joy, like people
Yeah.
genuinely happy to be standing up for the national anthem,
Yeah.
proud of all the players on the field.
And every ball game you go to now, the national anthem ends in big USA chants, and they are bipartisan. Like they actually are, because most people have course corrected and realized we were going just in a dumb direction. Do you remember in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom? This is a weird analogy. But when they're at that place where they're ripping people's hearts out and they've drugged Indy and like he yells at the girl and he punches Short Round, that whole
Oh,
thing, you know
yeah.
what I mean? And they can't get him to snap out of it. And he's about to like kill them too. And then one day he wakes up and he's like, oh yeah, I'm like the good guy and we're the good people.
Yeah.
They kind of Temple of Doomed America for like 4 years there.
Yeah.
Where maybe 8, if you count the tail end of the Obama administration, where they were really like positioning us as if we should all be ashamed of who we are.
Yeah. And as though people weren't going to vote the opposite
Yeah.
when their cities were being flushed down the toilet.
I know.
Like, yeah, cops are the worst, right?
Thank
and
you.
then it's like, oh, wait, there's a bunch of crime. Oh, no, we don't
jeez.
want this. We're actually going to vote for
We're
the
gonna
other
go
guy.
the other way.
Yeah.
And that's what happened is Dr. Jones woke up.
Yeah.
No, Dr. Jones, that whole thing. And now we like the anthem again.
Yeah.
And it's happy. And I think that's where a lot of the optimism comes from. It's a lot of us felt like this relationship could not be saved. Like it was broken beyond repair because we didn't have like a unifying perspective on anything.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that we're all starting to be in on the joke again, that if you live here, you kind of hit the lottery. Stop complaining.
Yeah. And
know?
what's really fun now
Mm-hmm.
is watching drunk Kamala videos for sport.
They're
Because they pop up in my Instagram feed
so
now.
good.
And I can't look away. I mean,
No.
most of them are from Wesley Hunt. And, and I don't know that I've never seen her drink, but she behaves like someone who was at my party Friday night.
Like she was bartending your party Friday night, the woman with the hiccups when I walked in. Yeah,
Bartending and serving herself as a customer.
but then wouldn't you argue, and not that it would be an argument, but yes, she's fueling our optimism because every one of her public appearances, there hasn't been a moment yet where, and nor will there ever be a moment where you're going to watch a Kamala clip and be like, oh, that's the one that got away.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not coming. Yesterday, when they were speaking to the DNC and Biden.
Because you had that with John McCain for a while.
Yeah, there was a genuine thing where absolutely the way Obama governed made a strong case for anybody but Obama, which is why Mitt Romney and his mom jeans were able to show up and come close. And Mitt Romney was an absurdity. But when you watched Kamala yesterday, she did a great one where she's like, I love the holidays. It's my favorite time of the year, next to my birthday, which is my favorite, next to our engagement. And I'm like, why is this happening? Why is this your hello other than you're probably day drunk?
Yeah.
And there's this inauthenticity thing. She's so inauthentic that she fuels our optimism because every one of her public appearances makes us feel even better that we didn't make the decision that we did.
Don't go anywhere. More Kennedy Saves the World right after this.
Yeah, and that's why I love watching those videos because, and I feel like there's some relief on her end too.
Yeah.
Like when you're pregnant, can't
Yeah.
drink when you're pregnant.
Wow.
But when you have the baby and you're done nursing, it's like whoa, it's like spring break when you're 20.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. She's like a tightly wound spring that has unsprung.
Thank you.
And it's just like la, 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 la.
Because that's what happens.
Yeah.
The people who come so close to winning it all and don't break.
Yeah,
You know?
either they turn into Hillary like, well, I should have been the first female president, but the Latvian bot farms and James Comey and Facebook and the Russians and Donald Trump and all the women who should have voted for me, but their husbands muscled them into voting for him. It's like she just got so angry and so bitter, and all you could do was pull the string and have her yap, yap, yap about losing 2016. And Kamala, she doesn't give a crap. She's just
No.
like, yeah, I did it. I lost it. It's the best. And I'm still in the fight.
I love that you say that because my favorite moment in politics is when a losing politician says the election's over, their concession speech. The election's over, but the fight is just beginning. Like they're saying that as an assistant is literally buying them airfare to a Caribbean island.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We haven't even begun to fight to get to the swim-up bar. The battle is just starting.
Doug and I are going to be fighting so hard in Hawaii, hand in hand in our private nudist colony.
To your point of her looking so bad in these videos, remember that the drunken video that Wesley Hunt keeps retweeting happened after 8 days in Hawaii.
Yeah.
You were supposed to look good
Yeah.
after 8 days
Like
in Hawaii.
rested,
That's what I
thoughtful.
mean.
Yeah.
Whole new woman. We didn't get that, Kamala.
No, whole new Mai Tai recipe.
Yeah, she was Hawaii.
I envy that.
She was Hawaii 0.50. She was in bad shape. Bad shape.
I love it, Jim. So Trump had a press conference today. How do you think he did? I thought he looked pretty relaxed.
Yeah.
It didn't feel as combative as, I don't know that the press gets points for playing gotcha
Yeah.
like they used to.
No. And that's, I think, one of the biggest challenges right now for them. okay, is we also don't have this manufactured Russian collusion hoax to force feed into every line of questioning. Well, seeing as you stole the election with Russia, when you look at the economy, and that was every caveat of the last transition. So there's that. We don't have this manufactured hysteria because he is a known commodity. So that's dialed back the tension meter a little bit because the media realizes in most circles that that's not going to sell. But the other thing is, too, he is slightly more disciplined because it was so fascinating as he was asked about whether he favors preemptive strikes against Iran's nuclear facilities. And he goes, that's a ridiculous question. I'm not going to answer that. But then he kept talking the way he does because you know how sometimes Trump opens his mouth in search of something to say? He almost wound up answering the question. He's like, I'm not going to answer that. Why would I say that? I mean, I'm not going to talk about something that may or may not happen and probably should. You're like, wait, what? You said it.
Yeah.
So there is a little more discipline. And I think to where we started the conversation, because people know America is going through its weird, like, growth spurt right now, in that the country's going to look very different on January 20th. Okay, you remember what you looked like in 7th grade, those awkward pictures?
Oh my God, I looked amazing.
I'm
still trying to get back to that.
No,
I like a short David Bowie haircut and lots of black eyeliner.
Is that a thing?
Oh, I looked great in 7th grade. Like, everyone thought that I looked like a freak.
Yeah.
And if 7th grade me were in school now, they'd be like, oh, you're a boy. It's like, we're going to go ahead and send you to the clinic.
You're a cutter, one way or the other, one way or the other. But the point is, we're going through that kind of weird transitional phase, that weird growth spurt where we're going to come out on the other side of this January 20th. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so I believe that is affecting right now the media's approach to Trump and vice versa. There's genuinely, like, I don't want to call it goodwill, but I want to call it restraint, and we've never seen it before.
Okay, so here's what I think happened, and I think this is a very important distinction. I think before, all of those journalists are so full of themselves, and they're so condescending, and they really look down on most Americans, and they were like, we know better than you. We know this guy is a fraud, and he's horrible, and he's literally Hitler. So we're going to challenge him thusly, even though you voted for him.
Yeah.
And that didn't sell. It didn't sell papers, it didn't sell subscriptions, it didn't boost ratings. So now we're in the second election cycle where, you know, editors and bosses look at this and they're like, this is so unprofitable for us.
Yeah.
For, you know, all these people to go out there and manufacture this outrage where they should be doing objective journalism.
Yep.
So they're sending them back to do objective journalism and to cover this president like they should have covered Biden and every other president.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that is with a little bit more curiosity, trying to get questions answered instead of using their question time to force an agenda and to preen.
It is
like
funny.
the Jim Acostas of the world. Now they're actually asking questions about policy. And I think it surprises even Trump.
Yeah, I think so too. Just the same, because he's used to being blitzed every down.
Yeah.
He's never played behind an offensive line before. It's going to be interesting to see how this works out. But I think at the moment, it's a moment of great optimism. And that matters. When you hear the SoftBank CEO is investing $100 billion in our economy, that's encouraging. And it might put pressure on other, you know, people to do invest in the same capacity. So I think as a country, we are feeling good, which is unfortunate because UFOs are about to kill us all. But that's okay. At least we went out happy.
So I think people are spending money on Black Friday because they're optimistic about the Trump economy. I also think they would have spent a lot of money if Kamala were elected because they would assume that we are all either going to be emulsified by aliens or we are going to be subjected to a mass Holocaust.
Yeah, what's credit card debt if they're about to devalue our currency to the point of no return?
If there's force majeure, none of it matters.
None of it matters.
So let's just go ahead and buy everyone a Lamborghini.
Have another, Kamala.
All right. Well, now you can go have a great week, courtesy of me and Jimmy Fallon. This has been Kennedy Saves the World. I'm Kennedy. Hartwald.
Listen ad-free with the Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app. Oh, go ahead and leave me a review while you're there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You've been listening to Kennedy Saves the World on the Fox News Podcast Network.